Hi guys and welcome to part 2 of the game night from the 3rd of October on PGR2, and now we are in the supercar series with a variety of different cars being used, and we have a full lobby once again, 8 players, and we're in Sydney to start things off in this one. So for the next 4 races we'll be using the supercars, and a few of us in the TVR here, the Ferrari 355 F1, I think there's a couple in that, and also the Dodge Viper. So can we avoid the mess of the first corner? Lots of stuff getting on there. I think Mike got pinned to the wall at that point. We've got Rob and Sakis in front. And I think everybody else has sort of crashed there from the first corner. There's always a few casualties at this point. But we're sitting in third here. Rob and Sakis having a little bit of a battle round this part. Some colliding with the wall going on. Some crazy drifting. But we're able to drift on the inside. Just about getting level with Sakis, who still holds the lead at this point, and Rob drops to third place here. So things are going to get a bit tight and messy around this part of the track. So I preemptively brake, and then no idea what's just happened there. Completely facing the wrong way. Mike passes me there, so in fourth place. Me and Sakis coming off the worst there. Noel just coming in there in fifth place in the Viper. So a bit of a crazy start to this one. And see if we can get things going a bit better. So we've got a breakaway of 2 in first and second now, following that crash. And then there's Sakis, myself, and Noel, who I think's just collided with the barrier there. That section's pretty hard to navigate through that chicane. That always ends in some crashes, as we might find out later on. But just about on Sakis' tail round here. And then we try and stick with him round here. And we get hit by a random bout of lag there. Just goes to the left of us and then to the right, which then ends up us being smashed into the barrier. Didn't really make any sense, that, but it does happen. So I'm just going to wind forward the uneventful parts of the races. So as we can see, still in fourth place, but not close enough to really challenge anybody at this point. You can see Sakis and Mike in the distance there. Sakis pulling away. So there's a battle going on there for third and second. So he's about 3 seconds ahead now. And we've got Henkau there, who seems to have popped up in fifth place. And some terrible driving by myself, hitting some barriers all over the place. And strolling through this bit, you can see there's a collision between Mike and Rob there. So flying past Rob, but then as you can see, they must have lagged a bit because Rob's then caught right back up again. So that didn't really make too much sense. But Rob went a little bit wide there, so able to undercut him into second, and Sakis has just gone around the corner there into first place. Well, he's maintained first place, should I say. And winding it forward again, coming forward onto the third lap now. Sakis 3 seconds ahead. Going to be hard to catch him at this point, and Rob's just over a second behind. So again, just winding through all of these non-eventful parts, because they are quite long races, so there's no point showing it at full speed. But you can see Rob there was pretty close coming around that corner. Sakis is maintaining that lead of about 3.5 seconds. Come around this part into the difficult chicane bit. Hard to take that full speed without crashing. And Sakis has just opened up his lead a little bit more there. And I made an absolute hash of that corner, but you can see Train Crazy Kid, let's say Tracy Kane Kid then, in the 355 F1, and Rob's just about caught up with me there. And we sail past Train there. And I think Rob's going to do the same, because the 355 isn't particularly quick in a straight line. So again, winding it forward on the last lap. Rob's about a second behind at this point. I think Sakis may have crashed a little bit there. I think we've gained a little bit of time on him. But not enough to start making any sort of overtake on him. 2.8 seconds is ahead now. And Rob must have messed up at this point, because he's 4.6 seconds now behind us. Then we come to the dreaded chicane, and it was coming on my end, and there we go. Crash straight into Cody, who had already crashed at that point. But yeah, that was pretty awful on my part. And Rob flies past there into third place. And just overtaking Cody there. He's in that 355 again. But then, what's happened here? And smashes the barrier. But I'll put that sound effect in. Why not? Make it an ongoing thing, because what's going to happen now as well? On the last lap, it's pretty funny, really. So just won that forward to the finish. And a third place finish for us. I think Rob got second there and Sakis in first. I'm not sure of the rest of the finishing order. And we've got Henkau just pulling up in fourth in the Porsche 911. And Noel is also in the Dodge Viper in fifth place there. Cody sixth. Train Crazy Kid in seventh. So Henkau just rolling over the finish, and Noel's about 4 seconds behind him. So moving on to the second event. Again, we've maintained that good mix of cars here. So starting in fourth this time. Got one of the Ferraris there to the left. A couple actually. Train's in another one there. So managing to go on the inside for the first corner. Just about getting the lead there, nice and smooth. Because we know what the first corners usually result in. I think Rob's come out in second there in the Dodge Viper. And let's see what can happen on this first corner. And again, another takeout and a couple more slamming to the barrier there. So gunshots going off everywhere. Rob did apologise to me after that one, so no hard feelings there. He went from the TVR to the Dodge, which does have worse brakes, so that was his excuse for that one anyway. We'll let him off. But anyway, Sakis finds himself in front again, so this is already going to be an uphill struggle to try and get anywhere near him at this point. And I'm not sure who's in the positions behind, but we've got a cluster of us at the front, and I think there's two there that seem to be towards the back of the pack there, probably in the slower Ferraris. But learning this track, and this TVR is pretty hard to control. Not very good with it. Not my strong class in Supercar Series. Not very good in this one. Sakis is pretty good. He's pretty good with the Dodge Viper and the TVR. Probably the better two in the class. If we're not counting the Delfino, because that's just very overpowered. But he does mess up that corner a little bit, so we're able to just to make some ground on the straights. I think the Viper is slightly quicker, going towards its top speed. But we're 0.7 behind him at this point, and Rob's about 5 seconds behind now, so there is a bit of a gap opening up between the top two. Just about getting behind this bumper at this point. So I could start challenging, but then obviously me being me, make a mistake, always ram into the inside of the barriers, so that means that we lose that opportunity. So I'm going to wind it forward even quicker than normal now, because it's fairly uneventful for quite a large period of this. As you can see, absolutely messing up that corner there. And now Sakis is 5 seconds ahead, so that's well and truly over at this point. So we have to see what else is going on. But HSV in the Delfino is only two and a bit seconds behind. So we'll see if he makes any ground. He can start making a move, try and take second place. Sakis is nearly 7 seconds ahead now, so he's just absolutely flying. And I'm hitting the barrier all over the place, and we can see HSV in the rear view mirror. Seeing if he can catch on the straights, because that Delfino is an absolute rocket. Maybe slightly too overpowered to use. It's not got very good brakes or cornering, but if you get on the straights, it certainly gets you a lot of time back. And we've got Train again. We just go past here, and HSV is coming now in the Delfino. Absolutely rapid. But managing just to see him off on the inside there, on the last lap, on the last corner. And it's not going to be enough for him, and he makes a mistake going around there. So we do cross the line in second. Very far behind first place, but still a second place there. So we've got HSV, who was 9 seconds behind. I was nearly 8 seconds behind. Rob finishes in fourth in the Viper. And the same finishing order in 5th and 6th, I think, last time, which is Henkau and then Noel. So moving on to Florence and the next set of races. So a few cars switched up. I've gone into the Corvette Z06. I think Sakis is still in Dodge Viper there. Rob's gone to the Corvette as well, which I struggle to get used to the handling because it does turn in a lot quicker than the TVR does. Cody there in the Ferrari, just spinning out a little bit. And again, I'm smashing into the barrier. Henkel there. It's the first time we've actually seen him in the 911. So we're in 5th place here, pretty close at the front by the looks of it. And then Rob is pinned to the wall there and then spun round. So a lot of chaos happening in this tighter track. And we've got HSV and Henkel there. HSV is lagging quite a bit. Hard to see where he is on the track. And Rob's come around there, so lots of swapping places around here and a lot of chaos in the tight corridor. Swapping places all over the place. HSV is again glitching around, but he's pulling away in that Delfino. So in 4th place here with HSV in front and Rob behind. And again, hard to see what HSV is doing. That UK to Australia connection is not going to do so well, but we can see Noel there in 2nd place, just in the distance. I think he's in the TVR. And again for myself, turning in too quickly, hitting the barrier, losing a lot of speed, so not the cleanest. And I think Sakis is all the way in front again in that Dodge Viper. But HSV and Noel having a bit of a battle there for 2nd place. Got to see if we can try and catch up. And it looks like Noel's just in front again, and Rob is behind by about a second and a half. Can we make any ground coming into the narrow corridor? And it looks like there's a bit of a coming together there, lots of crashing into the barrier, and I do slip into 3rd place, but again, really laggy. Not sure what's going on, getting pushed all over the place. Just got to try and make it through these sorts of tracks, and Rob's caught up as well, so we've got a 4-way battle for 2nd place here. Noel understeering a bit into the wall there, allowing me to get into some position to overtake, but then obviously the Delfino powers through like we're standing still. Getting a shunt up the arse from Rob there, so that spun Noel all the way around. It always seems to get spun out in these events. But I mean, HSV is in 2nd place, and again I'm crashing to the barrier at the same point every lap. Which means Rob's coming for 3rd place. Both of us in the Z06 here. Going to be a pretty close finish, but we're on lap 3. Seeing if we can gain anything on this Delfino. We can see Sakis on the mini-map in blue is absolutely gone. He's having no part of this fight. But the battle for 2nd and 3rd is truly on. It looks like 5th and 6th as well, having a little bit, well, a little bit closer together behind us. But Rob's overtaken due to a collision from me. But then he goes a little bit wide, so we're just about neck and neck. Having to dive behind into his slipstream. So I think the Delfino is pretty much pulling away now, so it's going to be a battle for 3rd place between me and Rob. In the Corvettes, onto the last lap. Not sure what Rob was doing there. It went very wide at that point. Let's see if we can hold on to 3rd place now. Just about been able to see HSV, but I don't think it's going to be anything for us to catch at this point, unless we do really good corners towards the end. And again, colliding with the inside. And so many collisions in this race. And Rob's now on the inside again. Getting the better of me down here and just pinning him to the wall by my part. Couldn't really avoid that one in that narrow corridor with the cars skidding all over the place. But we're in 3rd place at the moment. And Rob is still behind though, so he could make a move for the last bit of the game. And Cody's spun out again, just about managed to avoid him with a collision with HSV there, so he's slowed up. But Sakis in the meantime has already finished, miles ahead, and a crash on the last corner, and there's Rob coming up behind, and it's going to be a close finish. And he actually pushes me across the line, and I do believe we finish a millisecond apart from each other in 3rd and 4th there. And HSV got the 2nd place, Henkel got 5th, and Noel in 6th, a few seconds behind. And again, we've got Train Crazy and Cody in 7th and 8th there. So, for the last event here, we've got 7 of us. Starting in first place this time, though. Let's see if we can have a better start than last time. Henkow right behind us in the Porsche. And getting spun into the barrier, so straight away, not the best start. Already down into 4th place. Noel and Sakis ahead. Going into the same tight corridor bit where crazy stuff goes down. HSV goes into 1st place with Sakis just behind. And again, there's a lot of lag going on here, so I think that's making things pretty difficult in 1st and 2nd. And we're getting a bit of lag now, just jumping around a bit on the screen. Just about managing to stay with 1st and 2nd here, though. And we've got a couple really close behind in 4th and 5th as well. A few collisions with the barrier, so I'm able just about to catch up to Sakis at this point. HSV is starting to disappear with that Delfino, though. I'm side by side with Sakis, but that Dodge's speed is just pulling him away. Getting a bit used to the Z06 now, so doing a few corners better, but sneaking on the inside there, but not enough. Sakis just closes the door at this point. Again, getting a bit of oversteer. But going through this section smoothly, so neck and neck for 2nd place. And going again for the same move as the other lap. Just about getting ahead, but then the Dodge's acceleration is just bringing it ahead of the Z06 there. Going around this corner, Sakis slides a little bit, but again is able to pull away, so just 2/10 ahead still. Can't quite make that move on him. But then he makes a mistake on the same corner I did on the 1st lap. Crashes right into the barrier there. So that does let us pull away in 2nd place. HSV is gone in the in 1st place there, 3.8 seconds ahead. So now we've just got to try and hold out for the remainder with Sakis right behind. We can not make any mistakes, and there's one crashing into the barrier. HSV's 4.5 seconds ahead now, but Sakis is closing the gap with only one second between us now. And there's a bit of a gap between 3rd and the rest of the pack. Coming into the 4th lap. Sakis just staying again, just under a second behind. Nearly hitting the same point again on that barrier, but managing to come out unscathed this time. But yeah, it's caught up on the straight. Can we hold him off in the tight corridor bit? Just about managing to. Trying to go for the move on every corner, and there we go, straight into the inside of the barrier. It was coming, some sort of mistake, but luckily Sakis crashes to the back of us, defending the inside of that corner there, making sure he doesn't undercut us. But we are on the straight now, so probably going to try and go for the move here. And again, making a hash of that, and straight into the barrier, and there we go for the last lap. Sakis pulls ahead. Got to see if we can make any ground on him now. Rob is 6 seconds behind in 4th place. So it looks like 4th and 5th are pretty close together, and 6th is just behind. Sakis is starting to pull away a little bit now in that Viper. And Henkow has now overtaken Rob, so he's in 4th place. Looking like it's staying at 1.5 seconds. I don't think it's going to be anything of a 2nd place for us here. Looks like it's going to be a 3rd. But HSV finishes in 1st already. And on 2 wheels into the barrier, across the line in 3rd place. So, there's a few little battles going on in that one. Not quite as close as the previous race. Still close enough. So, Sakis was 8 seconds, I was 10 seconds behind, and then Henkow and Rob, and then Noel cross the line in 4th, 5th and 6th. And that is the end of this part, guys, so stay tuned for part 3, where we are using cars from the Pacific Muscle series, and I'll see you in that part.